Good evening. Coming up tonight,
the University of South Carolina joined a push towards hate crime legislation in the state earlier today.
Also, the COVID-19 case tracker was updated both statewide and on campus. Details on the rising number of cases in South Carolina are coming up.
Then a new vaccination spot plans to open in Columbia soon.
But first, Senator Lindsey Graham and Governor Henry McMaster oppose a federal bill on voting rights.
All of that and more tonight on SGTV Nightly News.
Live from the Kennedy Greenhouse studio, this is SGTV Nightly News.
Good evening, Carolina. I'm Callista Pushman.
And I'm Finn Carlin. Thanks for joining us tonight. Moments ago, Governor Henry McMaster and U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham spoke against the For the People Act, which was co-sponsored by Congressman James Clyburn. Proponents of the legislation say it would lead to automatic voter registration, diminish gerrymandering, and institute high ethical standards for elected officials. Graham, however, sees the bill as a Democratic power grab and believes it would eliminate South Carolina's requirement to show a photo ID to vote. Democrats in the House of Representatives see the bill as a necessary response to recently passed laws in Georgia and hope to move debate to the Senate in the coming weeks.
As more information has been made public regarding sexual assault claims against professors at U of SC, these instructors have been removed from their classroom duties. However, students say that more needs to be done, and SGTV News 4 reporter Marissa Giray tells how they are using their voices to demand change.
For senior Lauren Workman, making a legacy hasn't always been calling for change. That was until she got an email saying her former history professor, David Snyder, was being removed from the classroom due to sexual assault allegations.
But it wasn't made clear in the email to students if we would be made aware when he would be allowed to return, if he is. And so it's scary for me, like I have to go do laundry in that building. And I didn't even want to leave my apartment to go do laundry for so long because I was afraid he could just be there.
But Lauren isn't the only student who's been uncomfortable. Theater alumna Haley Sprankle reported her professor, Robert Richmond, after getting texts asking for sexual favors.
And we were both very uncomfortable. I know my friend was very unsure of what to do.
That's not all. Former arts major Allison Donovan filed several complaints and even a lawsuit after Professor David Voros allegedly forced poor living conditions and unwanted sexual advances on her during a study abroad trip.
After what happened in Italy, the school paid to fly me home because they said my safety was in question, and then when I got back, they didn't really want to hear about it.
Among other abuse claims, students have had enough, now turning their anger into action.
I think what we've done is just doing a lot of social media and boosting this message around, either with flyers around campus or just on social media, just boosting what's happening. And
what started as a message turned into a march around campus, asking that the university fire all abusers.
Many students have come together to march to different points on campus where they say these professors have been able to sexually abuse their students and staff.
As they moved, students gave their demands to anyone that would hear them.
If they cared about students, they would have fired these people when the first allegation came through.
Though the professors have been removed from the classroom, Lauren says that more needs to be done.
It's not enough. And we've been asking for this since the Voros, that these people be removed from payroll. The university is failing us, and we're trying to prevent that from happening anymore on this campus.
For SGTV News 4, I'm Marissa Giray.
So tell me, are you angry yet? Yeah! Let's keep going!
Thank you, Marissa. Now that students on campus can get their COVID vaccines, those health center appointments are being booked fast. If you haven't been able to schedule your first dose, you may soon be in luck. The White House says now that Columbia Place Mall will become a mass vaccination site, expected to open on April 14th. Current predictions show that they could administer up to 1,000 doses per day, though it is unclear which vaccine will be given or if an appointment will be required.
Now, vaccines are open to everyone, but the number of cases continue to rise. In the state of South Carolina, there are 1,195 new cases, bringing the total number of cases to about 556,000. There were also 7 new deaths, bringing the total to 9,203. Here on campus, as of April 1st, the total number of active cases is 119. This is down 9 from the last update. The positivity rate is at 1.7, which is up from the previous 1.37%. The campus alert level remains at new normal.
If living in the time of COVID-19 is not too tasteful, you may be hungry for something sweeter. That's why the South Carolina State Fair is hosting their spring food drive-thru event at the fairgrounds. Though you will have to stay in your car, you can still get a helping of your favorite State Fair treats, from fried Oreos to corn dogs and more. You can try it for yourself at 901 George Rogers Boulevard from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. from now until April 11th.
The South Carolina Aquarium has some utterly exciting news. 2 young North American river otters are beginning the process of integrating with the existing 2 otters at the aquarium. The aquarium animal care team decided that the senior otter duo, Ace and Stono, could benefit from the injection of youth and the additional companionship the new otters would bring. South Carolina Aquarium animal behavioralist Anne-Marie Ferry said the timing was right for Ace and Stono to meet new otters while they are still active and curious. In the coming days, the aquarium will be asking the public to vote on the names of these 2 new furry friends through their Facebook page. Next up, Braden Malloy will give updates on all things sports, so stay tuned.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm hearing that the Carolina Panthers have a new quarterback, but let's check in with our sports anchor, Braden Malloy, to give us the details. Braden?
Thanks, Finn. The Panthers now have a new face for their franchise as they traded 3 draft picks for former Jets quarterback Sam Darnold. Darnold was the number 3 pick in the 2018 draft and has spent the last 3 seasons just trying to keep the New York franchise afloat. In his time in the Big Apple, Darnold went 13-25 while throwing for 8,000 plus yards and 45 touchdowns, but 39 interceptions in just 38 games. Carolina, who is coming off year number 1 with QB Teddy Bridgewater, which saw him lead the team to a 4-11 season, now has decisions to make when it comes to Bridgewater's future, the details on Darnold's new contract, and the NFL draft in just 3 weeks. Staying on the gridiron but moving to the college level. Coach Beamer and the Gamecocks were back on the field yesterday to resume spring practice. The team took the majority of last week off as Beamer wanted the players to focus on rehab and rest as their spring schedule comes to a close. The players and the coaches aren't just putting in work on the field, however. Starting this week, they will be holding Zoom conferences to give updates and their feelings on the upcoming spring game on April 24th. After the defensive players took the mic today, here's how the schedule shakes out. Wednesday at noon will be the wide receiver and DB coaches Torian Gray and Justin Stepp. Thursday at 11:30, the team's offensive players. And the head ball coach himself caps it off at noon on Saturday. You can follow along on SGTV News 4 Sports Twitter at SGTV Sports.
Thank you, Braden. Now, although Bachelor news has come and gone, I'm hearing that a new relationship is catching some gossip. We'll give you the tea. Stick with us.
Welcome back, Carolina. I hear love is in the air. Let's hit up reporters Peter Smith and Sloan O'Cone to see what's shaking in entertainment. Peter?
Thanks, Callista. Sloan, I can't believe we don't have any more Bachelor gossip to share, but I know of a new love connection nonetheless. Comedian Pete Davidson is dating Bridgerton star Phoebe Dynevor. The two have a long-distance relationship while she works in the UK, but supposedly they're very happy together and he makes her laugh.
Well, I would hope so, considering he's a comedian. But hopefully, he does a little bit better with her than he did with Ari.
Yeah, definitely an interesting relationship with the long distance and her being located in the UK. But who knows?
Hopefully
love knows no bounds.
Exactly. Hopefully things go well for them. But it's funny you should mention that because speaking of Bridgerton, the Duke announced he is not returning to the show for season 2. The season will follow after the book series and focus more on Anthony Bridgerton's quest to find love. And I know I'm not the only one who's going to miss Reggie Jean Page on my TV because I think that he absolutely made the show, personally.
I can't lie, Anthony is my favorite, so I'm not sad about it at all.
Fine, whatever. I'm a little heartbroken, but I'll get over it.
Yep, I think it'll still be a great season. This week's big event on campus is Birdcage Wednesday, hosted by Carolina Productions, Iris, and the RHA. The annual drag show will feature Roxxxy Andrews from RuPaul's Drag Race, and it will be hosted by local drag queen Ebony Wood. Sloan and I love a good drag brunch, so we will be there.
Oh, we absolutely will be. And we saw Ebony Wood at a Valentine's Day drag brunch. But if you're interested, students can register for one of 2 sessions. The first is at 8 and the second is at 9. Very excited to see this event on campus.
We hope to see you guys there.
Yes, and that's all we have for you guys tonight. Back to you.
Thank you, Peter and Sloan. Coming up after the break, Frank Martinez will have your weekly weather forecast. He'll tell us if this warm weather will be sticking around, so don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, Carolina. Beautiful people. We're going to have the weather today. And for our headlines, we are going to have sunshine and clear skies today, and it will continue for tonight as well. So party people, if you're going out there, do so and be safe from the rain. Wednesday, we're going to have our highest temperature this week, and rain, as I was saying yesterday, it will start on Thursday and it will continue for the weekend, with Friday having the slight chance of thunder coming in. Okay, and for our highs in Carolina, as we can see, it's looking like summer, baby. We're in the 80s all across the board except for Myrtle Beach, where we're at 77, and Hilton Head, where we are at 75. Here in Columbia, we have that beautiful 84, and I'm happy to say that it will continue to be in the 80s and hot. As for today, we have the 84. Wednesday, we're going to have that high of 87. Then we'll continue to go back a little bit down to 84 for Thursday, and the rain will actually come in. And for Friday, yes, y'all, we're going to have that slight drop in temperature. It's still going to be quite hot at 78, but the thunderstorms will be rolling in. As we move on to the weekend, 80 here, the rain will continue to stay with us. And for Sunday, we will go back to that 78, and the rain will also remain. Well, that's all for me. For your local weatherman, Frank Martinez. As always, trust your weatherman, and please stay tuned, because when we come back, we're going to have another edition of Carolina Canines.
And finally, tonight's edition of Carolina Canines features Freya, sent in from our very own Caden Dinkins. Freya is a 6-month-old German Shepherd who loves her dad, never wants to leave her friends at the dog park, and is always a fan of treats.
Now, we've had Freya on the show before, but it's special today because it is her half birthday, so happy half-year birthday, Freya. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Have you ever seen Freya in person?
I have seen Freya in person, and she is the sweetest dog.
Yeah, Caden brought her on Green Street, and I just came across them one time, and I just was probably around them for a half hour. I just could not leave. And now, I would never say that stealing is okay, but
no,
if I can't convince Caden of it, I might have to borrow Freya for a day or two.
I didn't hear anything.
Yeah. Didn't hear from me. Well, that's all we have for tonight's edition of SGTV Nightly News.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SGTV at USC. To keep up with everything you need to know locally and on campus, be sure to also visit us online at sgtvonline.com. For SGTV Nightly News, I'm Callista Pushman.
And I'm Finn Carlin. From all of us here at SGTV, have a great night, Carolina, forever to thee.